Hey, it's Rob, and welcome to Axel's Garage. Alright, so last night the baby mama, she's been driving this Iroc. I guess it's two full weeks back and forth to work. So we're at the 2 week point. A couple little mishaps here and there, nothing serious, except for yesterday, she calls me up and she says the steering wheel feels funny. So I know I do have a little clunk in the front end, so I thought that might have been what it was. And I go, what do you mean it feels funny? She goes, well, it sounds like when I turn the wheel that there's something rolling around inside the wheel. Oh no, that was 2 days ago. Something rolling around inside the wheel. So I said, all right, I'll take a look at it. And I didn't get a chance to look at it that first night. The next day, she says, she goes, now it's like skipping or moving when I turn the wheel. So, something rolling around. I just went for a ride, and there's definitely something rolling around inside the wheel, like a loose nut or a screw that came off, and you could hear it. Something rolling around inside it. She was dead on accurate. You know, usually it's making a noise, you know, but now she says it was skipping, and what she means by that, and you could see this, is the wheel actually moves on whatever I guess mounting thing there is. So now I'd never dealt with one of these Grant steering wheels before. I know like a normal steering wheel is screwed down with that big center bolt, drive it in with an impact, and you got to pull it off with a puller. I have a feeling this one's different, because if that center bolt was in there, the steering wheel wouldn't be able to move off the axis, I guess you would call it, of that center nut. Like if this was doing that on that center nut, I mean, either the steering wheel was oblonged in the middle, or the nut got loose and it was oblong, and the hole is so big that it allows you to have this much play in it. I can't imagine that. And I don't even really know how to get this off. It's got these Allen screws, and I tried with one of these to get it the right size in there, and it looks like I got a pretty close size. So I'm going to take these Allen screws off, and we're just going to start digging into this. Like I said, I've never done this, so you're coming along for the ride, and we'll see what happens here. So I got the right size. I don't know what size it is. It doesn't actually say. Oh wait, it does say. Hang on. This one is saying 3 millimeter, and it's pretty good fit. Not perfect, but it says 3 millimeter, and I think this will be enough to do the job. If these Allens that are they're actually loose, they're not on tight, but you see this, right? That was always there. So this is new. When we bought the car, it did have this. So I wanted to tear into this anyway. I can't imagine it's supposed to do this. We know it's not supposed to do this. So let me move the camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing a little better. See if I can back this seat up a little bit more so we have some more room. No, I'm all the way back. All right, let me grab that camera. All right, so I got 4 out of these 5 Allens, and once you get the 4th one, see how loose that one is. These were all in, not what I would consider tight enough. I don't know if they loosened up over the time. I don't know if they need a little Loctite maybe, but I got all 5 of them out, and the wheel comes off, and it actually uses the factory horn button setup, which is really good. This popped out, which it shouldn't have. This should be, see, it's got a little, the factory horn button's got a little nub on it, similar to like a one of those a bulb, like a 3156 or a 3157 bulb. All right, so now inside here, let me grab that camera. All right, so inside here, this looks like the plate that's supposed to go on it, and there we got the center bolt, right? And this is supposed to have screws in it, and here they are. I can try to fish them out. All right, here's the screws. One's supposed to go there, one's supposed to go there, and there's another screw right up in there. So one of them fell out, and And let me see that. And there's that other movement. You know, so that's this center bolt probably not being tight enough. Because even if those other bolts are in, this center bolt's not tight on this. So let's take all this shit apart and hopefully put it together the right way. All right, just before I get all the tools out to take this apart, I just noticed something. Look at this nut. This nut is actually, this is the steering wheel nut. This nut is actually hand tight. I'm sure there's a torque spec somewhere for this nut, but this should be tight, I think. Right? This, I can't imagine it being that loose. It doesn't make sense for it to be that loose. So we're going to tighten this up a little too. Got to get this little clippy dick off. Probably just a little screwdriver pulls that off. I guess that's a safety so that it can't fall off. And I don't think you're supposed to leave it that loose. That's that wiggle we felt. Oh, maybe when you tighten this, you know what? I shouldn't say that. Let's see. We'll put it back together and we'll see. I don't know. Alright, of course it's got to be the coldest day of the year. Alright, these are 11 millimeter. These bolt heads. They kind of look like pretty cheesy bolts too. My Craftsman ratchet is starting to wear out. These are like really tight to get out too. I hope this whole thing's not. I got that one. Yeah, these are like the cheapest. I'm gonna go to the hardware store. See if I can get some new ones of these. These are like really cheap, cheesy bolts. So now this thing is completely loose. Alright, it's got 3 holes for the 3 bolts, and it's got a big oval one for the horn contact to go through, so you can't screw that up. Let's see if I can get this off without it going flying. This is a clippy dicky. Oh, is it threaded on? No. I've never seen like a retaining thing like this on the steering wheel nut, but might have it. Got it. Okay. A small screwdriver gets that clippy dicky off. All right, now this nut, see, it's fucking hand tight. And I don't think it's supposed to be hand tight. All I know is the horn freaking worked, and you know women, they like to use the horn. And I don't want to screw that up. All right, so now this comes off completely. So I have 3 bolts. There's the other bolt. All right. So I got this jammer right here. The part number is 10749 if anybody's interested. It's got a rubber boot on it. Okay, and then I got this, and that's just the cover. And then this bad boy is in there. This really doesn't have any play to it. That's in there nice. That should be tight against that. Because nothing here spins. Like this is a little loose on the splines. See, it's on the splines and it's got a little play in it. But maybe when it's all tightened down and this thing is tightened down, it'll be tight on the splines. But nothing here spins. This is all one. This all operates as one unit. So I don't think tightening that center bolt down a little bit more would be a problem. Oh, you see, this is my horn thing. And this is supposed to stay in there. I'll show you how that works. Alright, so this sleeve with the nub, what happens is this goes in. Oh, and I pulled it out. Oh, make it even easier. Alright, so this goes in and it turns like that. And it that fucking plastic was fucking, it's so dried out. Oh, it just fucking completely cracked. Did you see that? Motherfucker. So this goes in, it's supposed to be like that, and then when this makes a ground, it blows the horn. Alright, but there is... So we gotta try to MacGyver a way to keep this in nice. Because that plastic completely fucking cracked. It's just, you know, this plastic shit just did not last. That's 30-something years of deterioration. It's not even in the sun. It's completely hidden and it's brittle. Alright, so we'll see what we can do with that. Hopefully the horn will work, because I know my wife, if the horn doesn't work, she's fucking furious all the time. Alright, so what I did here was I drilled a little hole in the side of the plastic to get that tit to go in. And now I'm going to make a little groove. Well, I'm going to try to with a Dremel. Pick, and I'll move the camera and I'll show you what I did to try to get that thing. We'll see if it actually works. Alright, so what I did was I drilled a hole, small hole, like maybe less than 1/8, but right here. And then I cut this groove with the Dremel right tight next to the side of the hole so that it broke through that side. And I'm hoping that I had all that on camera, but now when we put this in, right, put it in, do it gently, in, and that locks right in like that. And it locks in tight enough. I don't think I need any tape or anything on there. It feels like it's good and tight and strong. And if we ground the horn, I guess the horn doesn't ground to there. I don't know why the horn's not blowing. Maybe I got schmutz in there. I think I might have gotten some plastic residue in there. Looks like in the hole I got a little plastic residue I gotta try to get out. Try to blow it out. Alright, so after I cleared out the horn residue, it's just a residue from the plastic in there. It works. Alright, so I had to run in quick, and the cold weather is tearing up my battery. Alright, we got that in there. Horn works. So now we have to put everything else back on. Alright, so this is top A, top B. So this went on like this. This went through there. Alright. Alright, that goes on like that. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I was thinking about putting a little piece of tape around it to make sure that holds in, but I don't think that's going to go anywhere. So that went on there like that. And this now goes on. No, that goes through that big oval. Just goes through this big oval like this. And that goes like that. And that's supposed to stay on there like that. Right, and then this bracket will go through. Hey, what's up, Robbie? And this is going to go through like this. And now we got to put those screws in. Now when this hits ground, the horn blows. All right, so I got this in place here, and we got these little bolts. It is just too freaking cold to run out to the store, and I'm trying to get done because I got some other crap that I have to do today. So what I'm thinking is here, we're going to put these in, but I'm going to use a little red Loctite on them. I don't know if they loosened up because I don't know if they loosened up because they were put in poorly or not. So I'm just putting one drop of red Loctite on them. I have a feeling they might have been put in poorly because everything is loose. But I don't want to over tighten these because I just don't like how they feel in that aluminum housing there. There's my other one. 2. That'll be a third somewhere. Oh, there it is. All right, I'm gonna get these in. Let me turn the camera off because I'm running out of battery. All right, so I made them tight with this fucking one thing. You really could put that in afterwards. I'm leaving it in because I want to know that I got it in place. But I'm making it tight with this 1/4 inch ratchet. Just got a little, dripped a little Loctite. Because it, like I said, that is an aluminum housing, and I feel a little funny about making that too tight. Now this bolt goes in. Just the way it sits with the hole in this thing, I think it needs a washer. So I'm going to see if I can find a washer. All right, so I got a washer that fits. I feel much more comfortable with the washer on it. You know, I know that usually when you put a steering wheel on, I've always just put that nut on. If it came with a washer, I put the washer back. I don't know if they did or not, but... and just blew it on with an impact. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it. I don't know if there's a specific torque spec, but that's what I have always done. So I'm just going to put 1 drop of Loctite again on this nut because I just didn't like how everything was loose. All right, so I got that on. I'm going to go with a 13/16. And I'm just going to make it pretty much good and tight. Fucking hold on. Pretty much good and tight. Good and tight. Because I know it can't fall off. Now it's nice and rigid. Doesn't have that little... but I know it's not going to fall off because it's got that safety thing. And if it loosens up again, it's easy enough to get it in place. So now I'm going to try to get this clippy dicky back on. There's a groove. All right, so my video camera completely died, so I'm on the phone now. It's 18 degrees and it's starting to snow, and that's why the battery wasn't fully charged, because I did a cooking video last night and I didn't charge the battery. But anyway, I plugged it into the charger enough where I could look back at the footage to see where I started. And let me, can I flip this without stopping? No, I gotta stop it, hold on. Okay, so the steering wheel was in this orientation. It wasn't the other way. So I am going to just start the Allen heads in. I am going to put a drop of red Loctite on those Allen heads as well, because I don't like how everything came loose. All right, so what I did was I put like half a drop, just a dab, on the leading threads, and I hand tighten them in, and then I loosen this one a little bit, and so that because they're sort of they're, what do you call it, chamfered, or so because it's supposed to bring the, it's got that bevel in it, and on the back side of these screws and in the steering wheel itself. So I didn't want this one tight while I'm making these, so I had them all like just a little snugged up. And then what I did was I tightened them on a crisscross, and I kept doing it until I was convinced that they were all tight. And all right, so now if I come back and shake the wheel, right, I don't have that play anymore, and it feels good. And now let's see, we'll start it up, and it feels really good, much better. No more play in the wheel at all, and everything's tight. Horn works, and the logo is good for when the wheel is like this. Mission accomplished. All right, so we got this one done just in time, because you can see outside it is starting to snow. We're supposed to get like 3 inches, some bullshit like that. Which I don't know if baby mama's gonna be able to drive this thing in 3 inches of snow. I have no idea. I never had one of these back in the day, and neither did she. So we don't know what this thing would do in the snow. But here at Axles, we got plenty of freaking cars all over the place. So there's always something for her to drive in the snow. And that's it. So I'm gonna park this thing up for the snowstorm. Wheel feels really nice now, much better than even when we got it, because it doesn't have that play anymore. Hopefully it stays tight. If this thing loosens up at all after putting Loctite on everything, the washer on the main thing, and getting it nice and snug, I probably will go back to the stock steering wheel. I actually like the stock steering wheel. This car came with this steering wheel, and the horn worked, so I really didn't want to screw with it and screw that up. So that's it today from Axel's Garage. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I am going to go in because I'm freezing my ass off. As always, thanks for watching.